What's up, y'all? Good Monday. Good to see y'all. Listen, y'all. If y'all don't know, this is TFG Tonight, and I'm your host, Mr. Haynes. And this is the best morning show that you can watch at night. Y'all listen, that's Devin, that's Lee, and that's Kenny.
I'm trying to be nice.
Black said we got two Americans.
Let's say to my brother Black, man, I think you could be a preacher. I ain't never heard somebody that use a first word and then read a scripture right after. You know?
So let me state for the record, I am a misogynist. You know,
yeah.
Pull out your card, Doc. He's
and I'm a chauvinist as well. Anybody who knows me knows that.
That's right. That is
Now I can go back to minding my own business.
true.
Either that boy is Benjamin Button or somebody lying.
And listen, and that boy may be mentally 12, but he's 34.
You bad boy, you don't do it again.
I'll let Black articulate a little bit better than that.
Nope.
Okay.
Never mind.
It's good for the soul. It's like medicine. Right?
Yeah, for real.
That's all I gotta say. I wish I had one of them applause buttons too, like that.
Good morning, y'all. Happy Monday.
What up, y'all? It's Monday. Hey, and we back. Ooh, and I mean, there's plenty to talk about in these streets today. Y'all know I was gonna hit y'all with that Black Love series again, but I changed my mind. There's too much going on and too many things we got to talk about, and so I won't belabor the time because there's things to do. Gentlemen, good to see y'all. And the fashionista, she'll get here when she get here. That's, I remember my old radio show, Skip Murphy in the morning. Nanette, she never was on time. But
Right, I remember that. I do. Yeah.
and look at her breathing hard. Hey,
there she go.
That was frustrating. I don't know what that was. It was telling me my account no longer exists. And then all of a sudden it popped up. I don't know. Anyway.
That's all that traveling, honey. They just following you everywhere. No, thank you so much. Yeah, good to see you. How you doing?
What's up, Miss D?
Got that overseas tan on you. I see you, honey.
I know, right?
Yeah.
The Bahamian bronze. That's what I can do.
Is that what it is?
Right.
Girl,
Okay.
that ain't no spray tan. Is all right. Now,
I don't need one of those. Okay.
all right. Yes.
I know
All
that's
right. Black, you doing all right down there?
Yes, sir.
Good. Listen, we ain't gonna play around, y'all. I feel like there's a lot to talk about. So listen, y'all. Y'all know what it is. If we say something y'all like to hear, go on and shoot us a tip, or 2 or 3, or however many y'all want to do. That it's fine with me. But I want to get started with these politics if I can. Ladies and gentlemen, we took a little left, and it was a good show too last week, man. I appreciate that for you, brother, sister. I may ask you a question or two before we go, but we'll see about all that. We was handling it though. But they got rid of the House Speaker in Washington D.C., Kevin McCarthy. Now they can't get no work done without him. But he put in the rules. Hey, Miss Demi, good to see you. Thank you.
What's up, Miss Demi?
What's up,
Miss Demi?
Hey, what up, real estate insider?
Yeah. Okay. It ain't like ain't no 3 other people ain't in here. But
I already knew. I just say no hate, Miss Devin, but they was missing you last week.
Yeah, they was. They really
and they let us know it too.
They
did.
let
us know too. I did.
Yeah, she tried really hard. I know, but when everybody can't do it like us. That's okay. But anyway, Kevin, yes, Kevin, he wasn't home alone, but he ain't home no more. So they supposed to vote on somebody this week. I don't really think this gonna happen, but I could be wrong. But it's interesting. On top of that, Israel is back at war with Hamas, and I know the religious conspirators are really amping up now, and really got a lot to say. And I just want y'all to know this is not the first time Israel and Hamas have been fighting.
Right.
Okay. And
it won't be the last.
No, it will not. So I'll get off the
last.
gas with that. So y'all listen. If they tell you, y'all watch Israel, tell them what are we watching for. Ask them what is it, what exactly are we watching for. So, that's really about all I really want to. Y'all got anything about politics? Anything y'all want to touch on real quick? I don't know. Yeah.
But the House Speaker thing. Thank you, Ms. Damon. We appreciate the love.
Yeah, we love you.
Yeah, Kevin McCarthy. This is just another political jockey, and this is what they do. Both parties do. Matt Gaetz is the leader, the one to get McCarthy out, and he has a whole lot of issues that he needs to be dealt with. Some situations that they have overlooked with him. So now the Republican Party is in somewhat disarray, in my opinion, because they're kind of split down the middle with this whole House Speaker thing. But again, it's just they're ignoring the American people, though. They more worried about who the House Speaker is than inflation costs, rising gas prices, all the other stuff that's affect the everyday Americans like us here on this panel and those that's watching. So again, it's just another playing politics and playing with American people's lives.
Yeah. And I'll say this one more thing, and if y'all got nothing, we'll keep going. There's another shutdown coming in 45 days. Just so y'all know, they kick that can a little down the road. And if they don't have a speaker, then they get paid, but the military and a few other workers, they just not gonna do it. So I don't know what this is going on with the war. You got something, Black?
I was real quick. Lastly, that's the bigger issue with me. And Brother Kenny, you said it so eloquently that it's a big distraction from what's really that nobody wants to talk about. Folks, we're heading into a winter and a holiday season.
Yes.
And have you taken a look at the cost of groceries and gas lately?
Mm-hmm.
And the idea that as the curtain is being pulled back, you look at the ineptitude and foolishness that's from our so-called leaders. I'm once again just disgusted, and I'll leave it at that.
Yeah. So Real Estate Insider wanted to chime in. Yeah, they do. Yeah, that they do.
We already know that.
Yep. But now he says LA, Chicago, New York, Dallas, and Houston have black mayors. I thought that was interesting. And he said, have we arrived as a people yet? Well, here's the interesting thing about that. If you want to take a sanitation job, when all the trash is picked up once a week now, then fine and dandy. I don't think I would really want to be mayor of some of these cities when it's really out of control. You're gonna get blamed for all the crime and everything else going on. So I don't really know. Are you excited when you inherit trash? I don't know, but
once again, they constantly move the goalposts.
Right.
Once upon a time, you couldn't break through and become a mayor. Well, now that we are mayors, but you can't be a governor.
Yes.
When the day might come 5-7 years from now, when you might see a host of governors, then where the goalposts move then. So when you continue to feed off the scraps from the table that you're not invited to in the first place, what damn difference does it make?
Right.
Yeah, the mayor don't really make that many decisions. So, it is what it is. But hey, Miss Toria, you went to DC. I hope you had fun.
Hey, Miss Toria.
Yeah, well, we just got through talking about them, so we'll get off the gas about that. But
very quickly, though, y'all.
Very
quickly. Is it me? Or there's something really weird with this particular election. It doesn't have the same feel. It doesn't have the same weight as normal elections. And when I was in the Bahamas, there was traffic, so we had to take a detour headed back to the airport. And it's usually a very peaceful area. But the last time I was in the Bahamas in June or July, Kamala was there. And I don't know why, but I just know there were a bunch of people there. But she was there speaking to them about something, whatever that is. And then this trip, the driver took us to see this huge, the embassy that they recently built. It looked like a prison.
The American embassy?
Yeah. And he said there's about 7 bunkers that they have built below it, and they don't know why. It's the size of an entire block. And if y'all know anything about Nassau, Bahamas, is really small, right?
Mhm,
And
mhm.
it's small, but not small. Like that's larger than a lot of embassies that I'm aware of, especially
True.
like when I was in like Mexico, and it's pretty near like the governor's mansion or whatever. But and I was asking him like, why do they need all this? And he's like, I don't know. We've been discussing that and trying to figure that out. And I don't know what's happening. I don't know if there's something going to happen to generate money, because it's all about money, like
Right.
all the time. But it's feeling really weird to me, and I hope nothing bad happens. But there's like an omen.
Well,
Interesting.
yeah, I can't speak offhand about that, but that is interesting. But yeah, it's a lot of things we don't know about that this country does in other countries. And quiet as it's kept, I really think this country is the only country that really likes this country.
Yeah, you got that right.
Yeah, so not a lot of countries like America.
Well, that's the point. And I'm not going to go down any rabbit holes, but my own personal religious beliefs lead me to believe that ultimately the United Nations is going to take over. And if you've watched like Face the Nation and some of those shows on Sunday mornings, like I do, the confidence that people have in American government has eroded to such a degree, just at an all-time low. So, Brother Brenton, so to your point, Sister Devin, I think we're seeing a mass exodus of people who don't give a damn.
It's a lot going on, y'all. But Miss Toria, you said that's true. Not even our allies like us. No, that's exactly right. Yeah, Miss Toria, you said you raising funds, huh? Well, man, I tell you, congratulations and God bless you and those people from Maryland that really need you. And she said they have a black governor. All right, yeah.
Oh, okay. Maryland does. Okay.
Maryland, yeah,
Awesome.
Maryland. Yeah, so fantastic. All right, y'all. Well, we got a lot to talk about, so let's get into this thing. Is what she said true? So there's a young lady, I don't remember her name, but y'all may know her face. I don't know her, but she made a statement. And I wanted to bring it to y'all's attention, and let's talk about it. Here you go.
Reality that needs to be said out loud is that as black men age, their desirability increases. Thus, their optionality of women is always expanding. And the exact opposite is true for black women. As we age, doesn't matter how much money we accumulate, our degrees or professional accolades, the reality is that our marriage and partnership market value is depreciating with every passing year.
Oh, wait, sister. Hold on. Kenny, what? Just hold it. Just hold it real tight. Hold on. Kenny, what you think about this, brother?
Wow.
Well, y'all want me to let her go first?
You trying to start this party off right? I know that.
Listen. I just bring the news. I'll let y'all talk about it.
That's Miss Ebony K. Williams, correct? This is the one. This is the same sister that said that she got issues with dating bus drivers or whatnot.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I have to say I somewhat agree with what she said. I think that's the double standard in this when you talk about black men and black women. I think black women do, as they get older, that does, I don't want to say depreciate. I do believe that sometimes that the older women are somewhat overlooked. I do. I think that they, a lot of men look at them as, they've had their time. Whereas men, when they get older, they become distinguished, or that thing, and that's looked at as a positive. Whereas for a black woman, it's looked totally opposite. So I think there's some validity in what she said.
All right, sister, go ahead.
I feel like she's just trolling everybody, because last weekend she was only willing to date a bus driver if he owned the bus and the bus company. So I don't really believe anything that she says. And she's also an attorney that was like near 40, that's still like single. And I would never tell any girl in college to stop going to college if you meet someone that's willing to marry you. I mean, because let's think about ourselves at 19, 20, 21. We're not even the same people at 30,
Right.
40, or whatever
Right.
that we were
Right.
at that particular time. So I would never encourage that kind of behavior, put that kind of pressure on girls to make them believe that if you don't hurry up and snatch up something now, you know what I'm saying, you'll just be lonely and desperate and seeking out people for the rest of your life. So I really feel like she was just trolling. And if you also let us think about a lot of the people that we know who were in relationships at later high school, early college, are they even still together now? A lot of them are single mothers, if we're just gonna be honest. So just having a title to be able to say I was married once, that's not a badge of honor. You want to meet somebody who's ready to be married, who's ready to build a family, who wants these things for you. And when you go to college, don't waste your student loan money or your parents' money trying to catch ping. You have so many other things to do with your time than chasing some little boy, little stanky ding-a-ling, because he ain't even watching it properly. I just think that was just, I didn't like it. Now I don't have my head so far in my butt that I don't know that that's accurate, because I know that is accurate, meaning you always hear that women, Black women especially, we quote unquote lose value as we age. But I also don't think today is the same as it was 10 years ago, as far as the way people see women, especially Black women, because we don't age like mayonnaise and we stay attractive and we can keep ourselves up for much longer. You know what I'm saying? I don't think a 30-year-old woman looks that much different than a 20-year-old woman, except for maybe she's got more of a body count and she may have already had a relationship. Yeah, I'm just being real. So I just think she's trolling both sides of her neck.
Yeah, no, and again, she comes across like she was raised by her grandmama instead of her mama. And we got to remember this country. This country was built on some sort of tradition, like these things that we're trying to overcome as it relates to how people think. These are traditions that were passed down through years. And again, the gender roles, the South from the North, those were thought processes. That's half the reason why there was a civil war between the North and the South, because ideologies were different. So again, I don't. If Miss Toria is saying it's true, yeah, y'all saying she was on the Housewife. What Housewife was she? I don't remember. So I
don't either.
Like New York or New Jersey one. Not one that I watched.
Okay.
Yeah, all right. Well, Black, you are a residential chauvinist, so
definitely.
Yes, sir.
And with good reason. And I love everything that you said, Sister Devin, and I agree with a lot of it. And I love how at the end you said, you acknowledge that there's truth to it. Now sometimes we shoot the messenger, so whatever it's about and represent, I get all of that.
That's right.
I talked about this on many of my shows. The numbers bear it out. It's just factually accurate. Now, the reasons why it's accurate is more complicated than we can do in this whole show. The reality is the numbers themselves aren't in women's favor. The reality is when you start looking at the totality of reasons why, number one, people in general aren't marrying until later in life anyway. Right. Women are having children later in life anyway. Over the last 20 years, the influx of women into the workforce has made a tremendous impact on them even wanting to be coupled up or whatever. They wanted to have their independence. And again, I've talked many times about how women, they work 2-3 jobs. They're getting it. No doubt about it. With that said, you couple that with what we've seen happen with the Me Too movement. And I've talked about this ad nauseum. I don't personally know how to approach women anymore. What's a good time, a good place, what y'all want, this, that, and the other. And so what's happening is a lot of men are divesting out of just saying, forget it. Contrary to popular belief, right here in Atlanta, not every Black African male is gay. Some of us have just thrown our hands up and said, I'm okay. I'm a do me. And it's not even a Southern thing. On vacation in New York, right there in sports bars, I saw tables full of women and guys weren't checking for them. It wasn't that we're not attracted. It's that the amount of complexities and issues that come along with it, a lot of men are choosing to opt out. The plain truth of it is, then add a final layer to it is that men being who we are. Mm-hmm. There's an old saying, I don't want nothing old but money. Mm-hmm. When you're going to keep it real, that as I age, my taste still is for young. I'm 55 years old. no disrespect, but who I'm looking at is younger women in general. So a lot of what we're seeing out here from women, in terms of what's being presented, there's always another younger model coming along. And by the way, you know who's winning? It's those hoes. Suki with the good coochie and some of these Miami Youngs people, he bought her a Maybach because she says she got good snatch. Now, me personally, I find older women more attractive. Don't get me started on hygiene, attitude, this, that, and the other, but I probably stand alone. For every one of me, there's 1,000 guys out there that don't care what that snatch smell like. And the big spider eyelashes and the big fake butts and this, that, and the other. I can't stand twerking to save my life, but that's who's winning. And so I hearken back to a time when I would see a woman dressed or age appropriate and not twerking and shaking her ass and keeping herself clean and stuff like that, because that's not what's being presented anymore. And so forget the messenger, but the message is accurate. It's very true.
Yeah, and again, see, this is the problem when people try to fight reality. The reality is you may not agree with something, you may not stand for something, but there are other women and men who do. And so that's the problem when you want to be upset at what's going on instead of just saying, well, that's not what I do. But that doesn't mean there are other women that don't do it. And again, this is why we have to be very studious with our thought process, because the reality is that if you don't like a woman who sleeps around, or that you can't stand men who approach you because they think you sleep around, well, there are other women who like to be approached that way, and that's not entirely the fault of the man. But again, if you're gonna be in the same places where those women are, okay, all right. I see this gonna go somewhere else. So anyway, all I'm just saying is that there is a reality that we just don't like looking in the mirror and just being honest with who we are as a people, as a country, as a culture. It is what it is. If you don't like something that's going on, then just don't be around that. You know what I'm saying? But you gotta accept whatever consequence come with that. Well, I want to have fun. I want to dress like this. Well, if you're gonna have fun and dress like that, just be careful where you go, because some places you go and you look a certain type of way, you're gonna get those no good dudes that Devin always referring to. That's just how it is. And so I just, again, if that's who she is, and she's trolling, so be it. But the reality is, as we all stated, she's not lying, whether we like it or not. Kanye West, he cannot represent Christ for me. But that don't mean he didn't tell the truth that Jesus is king. You're right, but I don't want to hear from you.
and I'll add a last part. I don't necessarily know that we as men become more distinguished in as much as that's true. In as much as our choices to dry up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If we're gonna keep it honest and real, I'm not who I was in my 30s. And so the same way women are evolving, who I was at 30, I wouldn't have been a good mate, good person for anybody, because I was running around doing my own thing. At 55, old, fat, all these health issues and shit, I'll probably be a better catch now. I'm willing to settle my fat black ass down, so that doesn't mean I've gotten more distinguished or anything like that. And even then, what I'm looking at, the choices change too. So it's not necessarily, I think, that we get more distinguished and we age as fine wine, because to Devin's point, women do age, black women. Let me say that.
Yeah,
black women.
Age
Now, I ain't talking about an old shriveled up white woman. God forgive me. But black women do age better. Yeah, I am.
My goodness. What up, DJ? Good to see you, man.
What up, DJ?
Yeah, he says, I feel women who think they are a certain caliber of woman, when they don't get chosen, now men don't court. Nah, he just didn't pick her. And that's true. And again, that's her defense mechanism. So I get it, you know what I'm saying? And to all, Tori's and Demi's comments, exactly. Again, we know she's not the right one, but she just, she told some truth. And again, it's the reality that people just don't want to be honest about. And even to DJ's point, and the reason why you don't want to be honest is because you don't want to see the truth for what it is. But we just all got to be okay with our decisions. And I just think that's it. What'd you say, Mr. Tori? I was done with Kanye when he's oh well. Yeah, Kanye on something else. So everybody know Kanye needs his medicine. So that's so. All right, well, I guess is what she said true? Some of it.
There was some truth.
Yeah, so we'll move on from that. All right, listen, living paycheck to paycheck, man. Just real quickly, I mean, what would we say in our thought process? What would we consider living paycheck to paycheck? How would we define that as a practice?
Waiting for our paycheck to pay a bill.
Yeah, that's it. So I mean, Kenny Black, I mean, how much should you have in the savings account to not be considered, living paycheck to paycheck?
I think that varies from individual
Sure.
to individual. But when I think of living paycheck to paycheck, I think of it in terms of if your paycheck stopped, if you got more going out than's coming in, how long would it take for you to be upside down? So when you're at a point where you're completely dependent upon having that paycheck, but now here's the blinders, that looks different to many people.
Yes,
we
sir.
see people right now who got the new truck, the real nice house. They take trips here, there, and the other, and their credit is charged to the hilt. And again, they got all these nice things, but they have to go to work.
Yep.
Because the moment they stop, this gonna get taken, that gonna get taken. I don't know if you're going here, but I made a conscious decision years ago to take myself out of that vicious cycle.
Yes, sir.
But there you go.
Yeah. All right, Kenny, what do you think? Paycheck to paycheck, waiting for our check. Yep.
Yeah. I mean,
What about-
I think Craig said it. I think DJ said it. I think Ms. Devin said it. It's basically you able to pay all your bills and then you waiting to get paid again.
Yeah.
That's basically living paycheck to paycheck, in my opinion.
Yeah, for sure. Well, there's a bankrate.com says statistics vary, but between 55% and 63% of Americans are likely living paycheck to paycheck. I agree
with that.
They says 3 in 4 Americans who earn less than $50,000 are living paycheck to paycheck, compared to roughly 2 in 3 of those making $50,000 to $100,000. Paycheck to paycheck living can result in missed or late payments, which can cause your credit score to drop, leading to fees, penalties, higher financing costs, and difficulty qualifying for future credit. While a significant number of Americans enjoy the advantage of secure jobs and ample savings, millions lack the necessary funds to cover unforeseen costs or sudden emergencies. Consider that 72% of Americans are not completely financially secure.
Yep.
So again, we don't like looking in the mirror when it comes to relationships, and we sure don't like looking in the mirror when it comes to that money. And I'm gonna tell y'all something. What I've tried to do, and again, I'm not saying I'm not paycheck to paycheck or not. I'm just telling y'all what I'm doing. Right? So what me and my wife have done, we came to a place where we pay our bills all at the first of the month. We put ourselves in that position. Now, we worked hard to do that. We made a lot of sacrifices, but that's what we do. And I remember we told that to somebody, hey, you're doing like white folks. I was like, well, if that's what white folks doing, then that's what you should be doing. It just makes better sense. Because here's the reality. Once I started doing that, I didn't feel as frustrated as I used to. And I've been doing this for some time now. And then what I realized is, for people who get paid, every other Friday or twice a month, however it goes by, there's sometimes in the month that you get an extra check. But you wouldn't know that if you always stunting on your money. Y'all don't even know that y'all living paycheck to paycheck, but like twice a year, maybe even 3 times sometimes, but twice a year for sure, you gonna get an extra check out of that month. But you don't even know it because you sitting there robbing Peter to pay Paul. And man, I'm telling you, it was blowing my mind how much better I was. I was less stressed when I was doing that. You know what I'm saying? Me and my wife both have had the encounter not having a job, and one of us had a job and we didn't. but we overcame that. So I guess for some of it, I would say and we got a pretty good credit score. So, in terms of this, what I'm saying, we're doing pretty decent, but I just want us to do better as people. At least learn to get that extra check that month. If you don't know, you got one coming in December. If you get paid twice a Friday, every other Friday, you're gonna get 3 Fridays in December. So you're gonna get extra checks. So let's try to do better, y'all. And so that's what you need to do. Live below your means, right? And some of the things that help us to get to that space is just stop trying to buy everything. You don't need it. You know what I'm saying? And I know Amazon is your best friend, but maybe that's the enemy you sleeping with.
Right.
Being in finance, I see it every single day. I have these conversations with people every day about being overextended, bro. Please keep preaching to them.
Amazon is the devil.
Right.
It is the devil.
Yes, sir.
And I see why he's the richest person, because you got one place that you go on there looking for something, you find things you weren't even looking for. Now, having said that, you have to have some restraint and budget. Now, like what Miss Demi J said, and I've always lived in a city where I don't have family. So I always operate as if I don't have a safety net. I don't have the benefit of, if I got in trouble, I can go to my brother. I could go to my uncle. I can go to my cousin. It's really just me here. And so to Miss Demi J's point, that's how I operate. I live in Buckhead, as it's called. I drive a Nissan Altima. I can walk out to my garage right now, and the cars out there will blow your mind. I love the fact that they're out there because nobody's worried about my little car. Having said that, I got 2 car payments left. Wow. Now, when those 2 car payments end, I'm going to continue to pay that same amount of money to myself. It goes directly into the savings account. To your point, Brother Brenton, I pay my bills in such a way that I do it a responsible way. Certain things have to be paid. So unlike some people, before I think about kicking it, rent, car full of gas, got food, this, that, and the other. I don't eat out all that often. That's why I cook, things like that. Now I buy things that I want, because you have to have a quality of life. But having said that, when my check comes, the first thing I do is I move money from check-ins to savings, even if it's $200. Every single pay period, I move something over there that I don't even look at, I don't even touch. I call it my rainy day fund. And so even a year or so ago, when I lost my job, I got back on vacation, went in, and that day they said, well, we don't need y'all no more. A bunch of us got, you know what? I sat back and went back on vacation.
My. Yes, sir. All right, Kenny, Devin, y'all got something else on this one? Because I agree with Demi. Hold on, I'm sorry. She says, I wish that they taught credit and finance in high school. But if they did that, then the world wouldn't be as rich as it is. I promise you that.
They need some of us to always be lower class. And today you can't even make it on less than 50,000. I'm going to be honest with you. If I look at some of the least expensive apartments and things like that, it's really hard, and you feel like you're working for nothing, especially if you have children. I just think that's very difficult. I'm kind of stingy with my money. I'm gonna be quite honest with you. I have a fear of being broke because I've been broke. Once you've been broke, you got fear of being broke. And so I'm always kind of piling up something in the background for myself. I'm just being real. And I've always had a savings goal that I always like to have in case something comes up, because I don't know, until y'all sat in y'all house and the lights went off, you don't know how that feels. And I just don't want
to. Believe me, I do.
Yes. Preach.
So because of that, I just don't want to ever be in a position where I go to the bathroom and the sink don't turn on. So I'm just real funny about my money because I've been there, done that. So I always try to keep a little in the background. That way, if I, God forbid, lost my job, I'm at least okay long enough to find another one.
Yeah. All right, Kenny, go ahead. You had something?
Just real, real quick. I just want to say, I think a lot of us have forgotten about this little thing that happened in 2020.
Yes, sir.
Where a lot of Americans,
hey, Bam.
they weren't living paycheck to paycheck. There were some pre-pandemic, but since 2020, A lot of Americans ran through their savings just to make it by because they had to. They were backed in the corner. The U.S. government, they gave us a little bit of safety net, but didn't last long. I can attest to that. I was a casualty. So I think, living paycheck to paycheck is a stressful thing too. That's the other risk that coming from that because people are stressing, people are worried. How I'm gonna do this? I gotta rob Peter to pay Paul. The old saying. I'm doing this. I'm stressing this and that. And sometimes people have made some bad financial decisions, but some of it is not of their own doing, and they just trying to figure out how to get out of it. And then, unfortunately, we're in an economy now that the hole is so deep. It's gonna take a while for us to get out this paycheck to paycheck system. So, and again, I'm not making excuses, but it's tough.
Yeah, right, it's definitely a sacrifice that I know we don't want to make, and because you feel like we have our hands are so close to tangible things that we used to couldn't get, that we feel like we'll get it by any means necessary. But yeah, you doing damage, y'all. At 29% interest on them credit cards ain't nothing to play with. I'm just telling y'all.
Kids need to stay home with their parents as long as they're allowed.
That's not a shame. Yeah.
And don't be ashamed of
struggling. Let's just say you struggling, your mama's struggling, your sister's struggling. Maybe we need to consider living in like one joint house for a little while until
get on your feet.
I know it's hard and it's just not our norm, and it would be hard for me. I'd probably go live in the shed. But I'm just saying that if you're on hard times, sometimes you got to do what you got to do.
You got to do what you got to do.
Yeah. Listen, y'all get rid of that pride, man. I remember when we were doing this show, y'all changed my thought process of how my kids are. And listen, they can stay, but they gotta put up money.
Right.
Like I make them like you old enough to work. Listen, I need to see $400 to $500 every month, and I better see it accumulated from 4 to 8 to 12 to 16. I better see it because the month I don't see it, that's the month you get a bill.
Right.
Because you're not sitting up here and you're gonna just enjoy yourself. You're gonna go buy again. You can't buy Louis, and I gotta go get some Pro Wings. You crazy. Yeah, Miss Bama. Good to see you, Miss Bama. What you say, Craig, especially in New York and California. Yeah, and listen, I thought about selling this house. Don't get me wrong, because listen, I was 150 on top, but I ain't got nowhere to go. I was like, I ain't finna go then pay the mortgage that I was going. I ain't doing that. So you know what I'm saying? Yeah. She said the good rate started 6.9. Yeah. And then it goes downhill from there. Well, uphill from there. If that's what we're seeing it. So y'all listen, it's not shameful to be paycheck to paycheck, but let's try to work our way out of it. You know what I'm saying? And that just means you just gotta again live within your means and be okay with, what you say, DJ say, have a hamburger helper without the hamburger.
I know that's right. and take a job that you hate, but it gives you a little bit of money. So believe me, I know. But
for sure. Right. She said, I'm going to be very vulnerable and transparent. I'm on disability. It's hard for me because I'm so independent.
I can imagine.
That is so. I love this. What'd you say, Lee? This show is so organic. Wait till we get the Black Love series. Thank you, Miss Demi, for that moment. I appreciate that. All right, let's keep it moving. Listen, my brother, sister, you can turn your camera off if you want to, but
hey, Miss
Oh,
you got the seatbelt on. You ready?
I got tough skin, you know it.
You got tough skin. Okay, all right. We're gonna see how tough your skin is. We're gonna be in and out this sports segment real quick, because I'm not gonna prolong this home going. I'm gonna bring the eulogy we're gonna have real quick for them boys that reside up there in Irving, Texas. But first, before we get to the eulogy, we got to talk about the Red River Classic, Texas OU. Great game. Texas, they poo-pooed on themselves. They should have won that game. Anyway, but Texas lost to OU, big game, yada, yada, yada. But let's not even talk about that. Let's talk about the most anticipated game on the 2023 NFL regular season schedule. Week 5 went down in Santa Clara, California, at Levi Stadium. The 3-1 Dallas Cowboys versus the 4-0 San Francisco 49ers. But before we talk about that, Brother Britton, can you post up that picture of my guy, MJ? This is for the Dallas Cowboys fans. That's what MJ looked like when he left the parking lot of Levi Stadium. Because that was a doggone beating. If you didn't know, now you know. The Cowboys took that L 42-10 to the Niners last night. The Dallas offense was offensively offensive.
My goodness.
4 turnovers, Dak 3 interceptions, 8 first downs. They were 4 for 11 on third down. Dallas D was giving up the D again too, by the way. They gave up 42 points, 25 first downs, 412 yards of offense, and they only sacked Brock Purdy one time, and they hit him only twice. So, again, the Cowboys took that L last night, 42-10. I'm going to go to Miss Devin first and foremost. Did you call in to work this morning, Miss Devin?
I did it. The thing about the Cowboys is, they disappoint me so much. And I'm kind of used to it. I actually stopped watching the game right after halftime and went and finished doing my laundry and stuff. But y'all gonna leave me alone. Some of y'all family members have too. Y'all ain't gonna be talking about me.
Okay. All right. Okay. My guy, Brother Black. What's up with them Cowboys? What you think?
I'm with Stephen A. Smith. They are who we thought they are. But they are thoroughly the most entertaining team to watch. I absolutely love it. The body language. Miss Devin, I wanted to walk away, but I just couldn't. The body language was just hilarious, just watching them. And they are America's team in the sense that I can't take my eyes off of them. But it's what I expected in big games. They come up short.
They come up short all the time. All right, Brother Brent, can you put up that other picture real quick of the Dallas Cowboys quarterback? This was a meme. This was a meme that I came across too. Is right, Brother Black.
That's him looking in the mirror. Oh.
Yeah, that's him looking in the mirror.
That's what I'm like.
And his reflection is trash.
Oh man.
Brother Brent, is Dak Prescott trash? Would you call his I'm not calling him trash. His quarterback play. Is this quarterback play trash?
Sure. So here's my perspective. I don't like nobody in the NFL pays my money, so I don't really get invested like that. Dak Prescott is. I'll be honest with you. I don't know any man that makes less money than Dak Prescott that wouldn't take all of that whipping, the tongue lashing for all that money he got. That's a smart man. And I promise you, when he's done, if he's done this year or 3 years from now, he's going to be living better than most of everybody we know. So it don't really matter if he is or not, he got paid.
That ain't the question, Brother Brent. You done ran around the street, you done dug a hole in the backyard, you done crawled up under the fence. The question was, Brother Brenton,
yes, sir.
Is Dak Prescott quarterback play trash? Yes or no? It is.
Yes,
okay.
Yes,
that's what I thought.
Yes, sir. Rock would be by to pick up his trash real soon. Yes, sir.
Okay, that's what I thought. I just want to get a confirmation from someone on this panel that Dak Prescott quarterback plays trash.
Yes, sir.
He did say that. Now, before we get out of here, I got something else for you, Miss Devin. Michael Parsons, All-Pro linebacker for the Dallas Cowboys, didn't have a sack last night. No. He couldn't. He was a non-factor. But this is what he said in his post-game interview. I don't think the 49ers are at a higher level than us. I think we're the same caliber playoff team. Same talent. The score doesn't really show what happened out there. Mr. Parsons, did you not see the scoreboard?
Man.
What the hell are you talking about? The score doesn't really show what happened. Yeah, it showed what happened. Y'all got your asses whipped. Stop it. Don't piss on me and then tell me the sun is shining. You got your ass kicked, Michael Parsons. Stop with these crazy ass interviews after you get beat. But anyway, I'm not a Cowboy hater. I'll just call it like I see it. I'm not in my emotions. I'm just saying fact. The fact is the Cowboys isn't as great as everybody think they are. Those 3 wins that they got are over trash teams, the Giants, the Jets, and the Patriots. So we don't really know how good the Cowboys are. I will say that they're still one of the top teams in the NFC, but they're not in the league of the Eagles. They're not in the league of the Lions, and they're damn so not in the league of the Niners.
Boy.
So anyway, that's my sports segment. Miss Devin, hope you have a great rest of your evening. We'll talk later.
Yeah.
Woo. Well, I will say this: if it wasn't a shame, they already had a Cowboy church. The Cowboys could have a church because these folks ready to give all that money to all them lies them folks be telling. So.
Right.
So anyway, all right, brother, I appreciate it. Listen, y'all. All right, I'm gonna take us down the road here a little harder. What hurt worse? There was an article that was posted. I thought it was interesting, but then as I began to kind of look at it in its entirety, it was kind of weird. So an article was done by Science Direct. Adults shouting at children can be just as harmful as physical or sexual abuse. The study says that yelling at children has adverse lifelong effects. The study says verbal abuse can manifest into depression, substance abuse, and even affect someone's physical health, causing issues like obesity and lung disease. A professor involved with the study says childhood verbal abuse desperately needs to be acknowledged as an abuse subtype because of its lifelong negative consequences. I didn't have a problem with it until they said the third one. I don't mind arguing that verbal abuse could equal up to physical abuse, but sexual abuse? Black, I'm gonna start with you on this one. Are we equating all three?
So, of course, I don't agree with that on its face value. But if we're talking about these last couple of generations, it probably is true.
Thank you,
because they blame every freaking thing is somebody else's fault. You know, we've raised a couple of generations that they're entitled. They don't have that built-in inner thing to stand on their own, and it's our fault. It's society's fault. You know, I come from a different generation, but if we're talking about this current generation who don't want to go to school because they're bullied, so yes, if they hear a few cuss words, because we're in a timeout generation. Now, look, if Eloise Young is watching this show right now, and Sherry, my mother is a Jehovah's Witness right now, but Lord knows we weren't raised as Jehovah's Witnesses, and I was called everything but a child of God, and it didn't do nothing but make me a better person. The stuff it built in you to be called you black such and so, and you better get your such and such in order, and I'm all such and so, this, that, and the other. It built character in me, and to the point where if you hearing that at home, I wish a would call me something at school. I got you, because I've already heard all that at home. And again, so it built, so to hear psychologists, sociologists, these are the same people that took God out of church, God out of schools, took corporal punishment out of homes, and you left parents defenseless with nothing but to do to ask your kid to go in his room. Oh, by the way, he got video games and flat screen TV. How the hell is that a punishment? Shut up.
Yeah, sister. You know, I know this is not your field, but you know, I know you've seen it, you know, quite often. I mean, are we really equating all three on the same level?
I don't agree with everything they said, especially the sexual abuse and all this other crap.
With that either.
But I do believe that things that you went through as a child, even at our big age, can follow us into adulthood. Because let's be honest, a lot of us, we messed up. You know what I'm saying? But what we have that the new generations don't have is we have coping skills, and we have the ability not to blame our actions on, you know, my mama calling me a B when I was 15. You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't use that as an excuse for being a piece of, you know what, or sorry as hell, or I can't keep a job because my mama yelled at me. You know what I'm saying? And I also think there's a difference than your mama yelling at you and cussing you out because your curfew was 8 and you made it home at 10. And I told your black ass, if you walk up in this house at 11 o'clock, and I know what it is because I've said it. There's a difference between that than someone who's being emotionally abused. If you can't handle your mama or your daddy cussing you out on occasion, there's something else wrong with you. You know what I'm saying? Because I know most of the people from my generation that grew up got an occasional good cussing out by their mama. A lot of them deserved it. And decisions that they made that were bad had nothing to do with that. I think people who grow up to abuse people in that horrible way, there's other stuff going on there. There's mental health issues, there's history of it, there's other stuff like that. But it ain't because your mama called you a black SOB. Like that just don't make sense to me.
Yeah. Kenny, I mean, I know I'm gonna be 3 for 3, but I mean, do they all equate?
No, I agree with everybody, especially the sexual abuse. Now, I don't think that equates to the other two things. But I will say, verbal abuse is real in the Black community. It is real. I can honestly say that my mother didn't cuss me out, but she definitely she let it be known. She verbally she would attack with that tongue, and I didn't like that. I'll be honest with you, I didn't like that. I felt like there's a different way to do it. So what I did that unfortunately a lot of our people in our community we don't break that curse. We continue to do what was done to us. If you ask all three of my grown kids, I've never cursed my kids out. I've never really yelled at them. I've spoken stern to them, but we've talked. Each one of my kids, I can count on one hand how many times I gave them a whooping. Matter of fact, I ain't really whooping. They mama really did the whooping. I ain't do any of it.
That sounds about right.
Yeah, I ain't really had to. Because when I talk to them, I would make them feel so bad. They'd be like, damn, I done really messed up.
Yeah.
So my thing was I wanted to break that generational curse because I knew how it felt to feel verbally abused and feel like I could do nothing right with my mom and she talking crazy to me. So I didn't want to pass that along to my own children.
Yeah. I mean, again, we are so infatuated and attracted to information that if somebody has a degree from online that says they something and somebody says something that tickles their ears, they're excited to hear it. From experience, I was sexually abused by a woman and I was verbally abused by a man, not related to each other. And so I know they don't equal out.
Right.
And again, this is just individual experiences, right? And so what I look at now as a father who has children, I despise that woman because I don't even know where your mind could take you. But when I was in it, I was like, I was the coolest thing in the world. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what we were in that age. And again, for the intent of me, my grandfather, he was very harsh, but how he grew up. Again, we can't walk away from the mirror of our history. This is what this country was built on: abuse, aggression, physical abuse. So that's being passed down was given to them because they had to work through those whippings, those beatings, that torture. So I get it. He wanted me to be better, and all he knew, working less than a 12th grade education, he just wanted to make sure that I got it. And I'm telling you, when that old man died, I cried. I did. I cried, and whoever they were talking about at that service, I got up and I said, I don't know who y'all talking about because that ain't who I knew. But what I knew is I said that man taught me nothing else. He taught me how to be responsible.
Yeah.
And today I appreciate him for that. I love that old man, you know what I'm saying? And I listen, he gave me one of his shotguns and I know how to use it, and I mean it. So and I just have to tweak what he meant to do for me and just, not put the abuse behind it, but give my kids the same sternness with the intent of making them better. Because here it is, my son is in elementary and he's having to deal with kids that they don't grow up like he does. So yeah, he hears stuff that he don't hear here, and he deals with stuff. And so, but I can't let my son not grow up in that, because if they can't deal with him now, they won't deal with him on the workplace. Because the same fools in school is the same fools that you're working with. And so I get it. So we just have to do it with the right intent. Go ahead, Black. I know you're going to say
No,
something.
I was just going in and say we are three vastly different Capricornians. I cursed and beat my kids. They thank me for it. My sexual abuser is going to be at this party on Saturday. She's my Mrs. Robinson. I love her to death. And if my back wasn't hurting, I might take a piece of that snatch now. So,
Lord, where's my button? I missed my button. Lord, have mercy.
She still look good. She still look good.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness.
Okay. Wow.
I tried to keep it serious, y'all. It's all right.
I'm being serious.
I know you ain't lying. I know you ain't lying. And again, that's just the reality. Again, he looks at his mirror clearly every day. So anyway, all right, sister. Listen, I appreciate it. I know you ain't coming back with no Bahama news, but girl, who business you getting into?
I wish it's a little heavy, but I wanted y'all's opinion sort of on it. I wasn't sure if y'all were aware, but there's a lady by the name of Shantiri Weems, and she was recently sentenced to 4 years in prison because Shantiri was married to a Baltimore police officer, and she also owned a daycare. Her husband, James Weems Jr., she found out was being very inappropriate and doing horrible things to those children at that daycare. Very, very young children to some like 11, 12, 10, like bad, like horrible things, if you can imagine. So as a result of that, Shantiri's in for prison for 4 years because she shot the shit out of him. She unfortunately didn't kill him. But she did shoot him. Now, while she's having to serve 4 years for what I believe is protecting those babies, he has been allowed to be on home arrest while awaiting his trial. He gets to be on home detention while Shantiri is in prison. Now, what I want to know is, because he's still a black man. He's a black man. Shantiri is a black woman. Do you think his having a police officer has anything to do with them allowing him to be on home detention while Miss Shantiri is having to serve? Black, what do you think on that?
Absolutely. You know, we want to pretend that all our lives are equal and we are all seen equally under the light of the law. It's just not true. Right. You know, and when you put on that badge and that blue uniform, your life value is elevated to a different level. Right. How many times on social media, I'm talking about every week, this, you know, we think the George Floyd killing, you know, has gone away. I just saw something just today where they was literally tussling with a guy and punching them in the face. And when one of them gets hurt or killed, all hell breaks loose, springs into action. Right. So I'm not surprised. It's sad that they're waiting what he did versus what she did to stop it. But he's a police officer. And in the eyes of the law, his value and importance is way up here. It's not fair, but that's just the way they see it. And so, you know, I'm not surprised, not even a little bit. It's sad.
Wow. Now, he was actually making contact, I'll say, with these children and showing them porn, and made one of them like take explicit photos of herself. And he did some horrible, horrible things to these children. Ken, do you think this is a reflection of how much the U.S. pretends to care about children?
Oh, most definitely. Good question. Yeah, most definitely. This country don't care about kids. They don't care about kids. The shootings in these schools that we have all the time, that they don't care about our children. And then, you know, you got this supposedly officer up the goddamn law, like the late Robin Harris.
Get him, Kenny.
In House Party. You got him. You got him fondling and doing inappropriate thing with kids, and then he gets to sit at home with a ankle bracelet while the woman was trying to protect the kids. Tried to take him out. Man, that just shows you how unfair the justice system is. And it's just so funny. For the first time in a while, you know, I guess I can kind of say, and it's sickening that a black man actually kind of got the better end of the deal for a change in the justice system. And it's sickening to say it because of what he's been accused of doing.
Yeah.
That's sad. I know this is a dumb question, but Britton, do you believe in vigilante justice like this when it comes to those types of actions?
Yeah, I definitely believe in a God too, because I appreciate I couldn't let that pass from anything happening to my kids, man. I appreciate my Heavenly Father for not even putting me in that type of position. So yeah, but to the whole point, again, they don't see your color when you agree with what they're doing, and again, that's what this country is known for. I mean, the way the right and the far right hollers about, you know, pedophile. Can I say that? Maybe not. Yeah, the bike peddlers. I don't. Whatever y'all want to call them. You know what I'm saying? They're only barking because they don't want to turn around and look in the mirror. Most of the people that you see get caught up on that far right, they always got something on their computer.
Always.
You know what I'm saying? Just like that. So that's what this, I mean, Black used to talk about Elvis. You know what I'm saying? We could talk about all different, the Epstein situation. That's all. That. So again, as long as you're doing what they doing, oh man, we get it. We understand. But then again, we talk about, you know, going to the clinics. All of a sudden it's an uproar. I don't know. I mean, I ain't saying anyway. Yeah, no, sister. It's I as far as I'm concerned, yeah, I don't blame them. And you know what I'm saying, they need to do a GoFundMe on them. So that's what I'm thinking.
You know, funny thing.
Thank you, DJ. Thank you, DJ.
Funny thing. I was actually about to say we start GoFundMes for gangbangers who have shot 2 or 3 people and then they die, and we start GoFundMes for them because while they shooting folks and acting a fool, and they forgot to get insurance. So I just feel like, and then that old punk ass dude that shot and killed Trayvon, he was starting a GoFundMe where he never had to work.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Right. I just don't think we do the things the right way. If this lady has to serve a year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, I wish she would initiate her own GoFundMe, because I always trust people. Let me be honest. I wish she would start her own GoFundMe, because I promise you I would go. And I also have been waiting for someone to post her inmate number and all of that to see if you can actually put money in books. Right. The only thing I regret is that he's still breathing. But let me go back to minding my business.
David, let me ask you a real quick question. So when was she convicted? When was she? I remember the story. I just didn't know that they convicted her.
She was convicted about a year ago, actually.
About a year ago, okay. Gotcha.
She was already convicted, and he was just found. They indicted him on those charges, but while he's waiting on trial, they're allowing him to be on home detention. So that's kind of how that happened. I'm hoping she doesn't have to serve all 4 years, because that would be
right. I agree. Okay.
Wow. All right, y'all. Well, listen. We can only talk about what's going on in the world, and unfortunately, that's what it is. So, all right, I got one more for us before we move on to our other stories. Would you be like Jay-Z? Apparently, there's a story. I'm gonna put it up. It says Jay-Z has $2.5 billion. His cousin asked for $4,800, and he said no. To put that into perspective, that be the equivalent of someone who made $50,000 a year being asked for a dime, be given a dime. Kenny, if your cousin asks you for a dime, you gonna give him a dime?
It depends on which cousin. To be honest with you, let's go and keep it real. There's some family members that you got it. If I got it, you got it. And there's some family members, no, hell no, I ain't give you nothing. So it just depends on which cousin for me.
Right. Sure. Black. Yeah. I mean, I get it, but I definitely understand Jay-Z's position.
I get it.
Oh yeah.
Well, it made a lot of social media noise, but then what got lost in the context of what he was talking about It wasn't just that he said he wouldn't give a family member the 4,800. He was talking about the inappropriateness of asking for it during family functions. The fact that he's a billionaire and here these cousins coming to him saying, man, I got this get rich quick screen, you know, blah, 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 blah.
Right, yeah.
And I remember Bernie Mac's show, you know, it was a famous scene with Don Cheadle at a funeral. At a funeral.
Right. Yeah.
His brother was like, come on, Mac, this, that, and there. So that was kind of what he was talking about, but it brought up a bit larger conversation. And my point, what I take from it is this. I hate that people think that just because he's rich, he's obligated to give his family money, because I don't agree with that. And Kenny, your point is brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. It's my money. I could choose to help or not help whoever I want to. It goes back to my thing about entitlement. Because I have built my life to this place, I don't owe any family member anything. And so if you come in here and I got 15 boxes of cereal, oh, come on, man, you missed that. Mother sucker. Look, I bought them goddamn cereals. Get your monkey ass out of here.
Man, I thought y'all gonna let Kenny get away with this thing. All right, man. He up on y'all by 5 points already.
I'm all up on 5. I'm up tonight.
Man, you up tonight, Doc. I said, man, Kenny putting y'all to shame tonight. What's going on? All right, Blake, I'll put you down for 2 more. Hold on. All right, sister. I mean, I already know, but go on tell the folks that don't know.
Right.
I mean, I got cousins who owe me $20 who can't ask me for a dime. They could be on the side of the road out of gas, and I wouldn't throw them $2. I would show them, I would send them the link to the Uber app. I wouldn't do a thing for them because I just don't. It's the entitlement of people for me, y'all. It's not that I don't mind helping nobody. Please don't get me wrong. But if you feel like I somehow owe you something, or you have the audacity to ask me for the money, that's a problem with me. Jay-Z is an extreme businessman. I would have more respect for the dude if he said, "Hey man, what can I do to come help you and earn a quick?"
Right.
If he said that, he would probably respect him more and say, "Look, man, you ain't got to do the work, but just the fact that you will, and I'm going to hook you up. But this is the one only time I'm gonna help you out."
Right.
But just to act like because you breathing and we blood related that I owe you a dime, that's crazy to me. Because I've had people cut me off in my family for not giving them money that they thought I had because they saw something I was doing and felt like they know I got it. I told them I can take it in my backyard and set it on fire if I want to, because that's my money. That's not yours. You're not obligated to anything that I have. And he also wouldn't be a billionaire if he gave all his cousins $5,000.
Right.
So I mean, I hear it for him, and he don't give me that he don't help people and do for people.
Right.
But he also gives me, he don't just give handouts either.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah. What do you say? There's people asking to borrow 5,000 who never had 5,000. Those are the ones. And again, here it is. Listen, this is why I'm always able to give those advice who want it. I'm the firm believer. I don't want to give you a fish. I want to teach you how to fish. And so that's my thing. And once you show me you don't want to learn how to fish, well, you don't want to eat. Because if I'm just giving you a handout, well, then all you trying to do is go from one bite to the next. No, if you want to be around me, my knowledge and the heartache and the mistakes that I've made, that's more valuable than the $10 I can give you. And that's just real, because at the end of the day, if you gassing me for $10 a day and you need another $10 next week, well then, hey dummy, that's insanity. Like, let me teach you, right? Because you need to earn the respect. Right. And so that, like we're saying, it's all about you tightening up your own bootstraps and getting started. I know it, but that's what's wrong with y'all now. Y'all watching these TV shows, everybody getting rich quick. And man, that's a TV show, dummy. Right. That ain't real. So again, you coming around me, ask my kids, they can't. No, you're earning every dime, every single one of them. There ain't nothing you getting free. You can't even breathe free. Matter of fact, hey, you owe me a dime for that one. Come here. No, so it's just not gonna work. So listen,
I get you. What's funny about me, I hope nobody I know don't hear this. I'm easy to be manipulated. If you act like you want to do for yourself and you come to me, and if one of my family members came to me and was like, Devin or ain't Devin, I've been looking at this nursing program I'm trying to get into, and they said all I need is this, and this. And can you show me, how to fill out the application? Lie to me for a minute, and then
That's right.
you know what I'm saying. But when I go, I might be there all day. I just don't know what I'm gonna eat, and I'll be like, let me give you some money where you go. That's who I am. But when I feel like you're taking advantage of me and you don't appreciate me, I'm not doing nothing for you.
I love it.
Well, Aunt Devin, can I go to the Bahamas with you next time?
Can you pack me in your luggage? Can you pack me in one of your bags? Can I go? Yeah.
Come on.
Right, yeah, exactly. Well, I sound like we all on the same page on that one. So kids, just understand you ain't getting nothing out of nobody. So y'all better get busy. Oh man. No, okay, so listen, y'all. Black Love Series. Listen, we missed it was a great show, gentlemen. I watched it. Great job. I appreciate y'all, man. We put in some.
We definitely missed you, Miss Devin, but
definitely
it went off all right.
Yeah, that's all right. We'll get one. We'll get another one in before the year's up. So hopefully we'll check her calendar, make sure she's available.
Right. Or somewhere where she got some damn good Wi-Fi.
There you go.
Right. Just pay the extra $50.
I don't mind broadcasting from abroad. I just
hello.
Right.
Making everybody jealous. So listen, y'all. Demi brought it up, and Black is always saying this show is so organic. I just appreciated her making that statement. It's very difficult to be vulnerable. So I want to talk about what is vulnerability as it relates to our community. So, just quickly, Kenny, when you think about vulnerability, what does that mean in terms of relationships?
Man, I say this all the time. I said this last week. For black men, we feel we have a safe space to express ourselves with a woman, where it won't come back to bite us in the butt or be used against us later on. So that's what being vulnerable for me means.
Exactly. Brother?
Black. I love it. I don't even Kenny said it brilliantly. And in terms of relationships, I think that's part of a lot of the issues is that it's already the fact that, men are from Mars and women from Venus, that we'll never truly understand each other, how we tick, and then the fact that now we try to be mind readers, and navigate the complexities of a relationship. It just doesn't work. And so I think a lot of times, we let a lot of things go unsaid because we're afraid to open up. And in this case, not just men, even women, to be, he might think this of me. And so, being vulnerable, I think it would improve our relationships 1,000 times if we felt that safeness, to your point, Brother Kenny, to be able to lay ourselves bare more.
Yeah. All right, sister, tell me your thoughts, and then I'm going to ask a question for us.
I love for who I'm in a relationship to be vulnerable with me, but just a little known fact, I haven't been vulnerable with a man in I don't know how many years.
Wow.
Because the last time I did that, I was scarred so bad by that man that it would take me a really long time to develop enough trust to know that on Mad Day, you won't use vulnerability against me. And maybe I need to sit on somebody's couch and talk about that. But the one time that I did it, it was when I said, "Oh, I think I feel safe enough finally. Let me do this," because I think I may have mentioned I've been through a lot in my life, especially as a kid and coming up. I've been through a lot. So to give someone that for me is a big deal. And boy, he stomped all over it. And ever since then, I just don't know if I can do it because, like I said, it's okay when you're good, but on Mad Day, I feel like that comes back and it bites me, or maybe they see it as a sign of weakness from me and they take it back. I don't know, but I need to figure that out.
Oh man, oh my goodness, man! I tell you, I love it. I love this show. I love this show. Okay, so listen, here is the definition of what it means to be vulnerable to someone. It's having the capability of being physically or emotionally wounded or hurt, open to persuasion or temptation. Everything you just said, Devin, was spot on. Everything Demi just said, it's the most precious thing. And I think we don't take that into consideration because we're so distracted by the looks and the smells and the feels and the touch and all that kind of stuff that we don't understand when that stuff wears off, we forget the character of the person. See, vulnerability speaks to the longevity of the relationship. All right, I'll say amen to that.
Amen.
Again, yeah, because here's the reality. If we're giving somebody who has not earned that space, well, then, yeah, you're going to experience the hurt that comes from that because the person that we're allowing to have that space didn't earn the right to be there. I start everybody at 0. And I don't care who it is. When we in a relationship together, you at 0. So if you jack something up and you go into the red, well, man, listen, just like the banks, you got to pay. You got to pay it. I got to see something from you. And to have a space of vulnerability. See, so here's the thing. Should you be vulnerable while dating? Right. That's right. That's right. And even when you're married, vulnerability has to be established. I have to be able to trust that that woman I have been with for over a decade now has a love for me so much that I can, because Kenny Black, here, call me a liar. If a man don't trust you, he will never tell you how he really feels.
I agree. Yeah, 110%.
And that's vulnerability, because you know why? Because if you hurt me, most men, we're going to try to hurt you back. And the most dumbest of the men, the way they hurt you is they put their hands on you because they're not smart enough to out-talk you. That's why most men are hitting on women because, okay, all right, I ain't gonna take that. But again, at what point do we start handing out? Listen, y'all hand that snatch out so quick. I got it. Y'all are handing out that whatever else y'all be doing over there at Black Apartment. Y'all hand all that out so quick. And then y'all think that come with the vulnerability. No. No. I mean, Devin, when I tell you took that hammer and hit it right on the head,
yeah,
he didn't deserve it.
Yeah.
And he did exactly. Yeah, I'm gonna come to you. And he did exactly what he was doing, but we weren't paying. We didn't know how precious it really was. Go on, Black.
And here's a little truth to my situation. My behaviors that I've engaged in has always been to cover up my vulnerability.
Exactly.
Because to your point, Devin, I failed at the second most important decision I ever made. The most important decision is when I gave my life to God. You know, now, contrary to popular belief, I still have a relationship with God, believe it or not. So I'm still working on that. But my marriage vows was the second most important decision I ever made. And I've never recovered from that. And to protect myself, to your point, Devin, I'm never going to allow myself to be that vulnerable again. So there will always be a wall up. So it's easier for me to get them to do those things in here because it allows me to not have to open up and share that much of myself for somebody. So different roads, but it's very similar to what you said. You hit the nail on the head, Sister Devin. But yeah, for me, my level of fear of being vulnerable, because I never want to feel that pain again.
But how fair is that, though, y'all? And don't get me wrong.
I'm with Devin. She said maybe we need to be on the couch.
I don't think it's necessarily a good thing. It's just
right. But I'm just telling you.
Right.
I'm keeping it as honest as I know how to be. It's easier for me to.
It's a defense mechanism.
Yes, it is.
And I may need to talk to somebody about it. But I just feel like in life, I don't care how long y'all have been together, when things go bad, it's easier when you feel like you're not being your vulnerability and things like that aren't being taken advantage of. Because let's be honest, men, when y'all are hurt, even if it's your fault, you want to hurt back. And you go to the gutter with it.
It's a lack of maturity, though.
You want to hurt somebody at the pit of their soul.
Right.
And I just don't know if anyone else can earn that from me again.
Sure. I respect that.
Well, my beautiful sister, when I tell you it's reciprocated, Don't nothing hurt worse either, though, too, when a
Than
woman,
yeah.
because y'all can say some shit to a man that destroys his confidence,
Oh,
his
yeah.
ability. So it goes both
I agree.
ways.
I agree. But I don't
Right.
think it's normal, and I don't
That's
know
right.
how to fix that.
Right.
It's
Yeah, I agree.
It's like
go ahead,
coming to
Kenny.
a relationship with baggage. Everyone does it.
You're right.
Right.
Go on, Kenny.
I would say this, and I say this all the time. I think the true essence of love and being in love and all that as humans that we need, you won't really get that until you become emotionally naked and feel safe to be able to do that. And until you can get emotionally naked with that woman or that man, you will not be able to really enjoy the whole true essence of love and being in love. And I'm speaking to myself. I think, I can relate to kind of what Devin and Black was saying. It takes a whole lot for a woman to get close to me.
Sure.
Because I don't open up. I don't.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I don't feel safe. So, but I do want that love, that emotionally nakedness that I can. A woman that gets me. That's what I want, and let me be me. So,
and I respect you all's position and opinions and perspectives, and I don't invalidate anything you all are saying. And again, to the ladies who Miss Tori and Miss Demi, some people are built different that can endure more than others, and some people just your personalities allow you to push those things aside because that's just who you are as a person. Everybody's not like that, but the reality is that we have to teach our children what is more important than that butt and that that the snatch. I'm sorry, I'm trying to think you correct, right? And the pain, right? We got to teach people that they have to earn that. Now, again, y'all giving all the other stuff away, but again, it's going to hurt when somebody is not mature enough. I don't let my son play in my car. You know why? Because he can do damage. And that's what it is. And unfortunately, again, I talked about those cups. And again, if we don't sit here, and it's better to allow an empty cup to fall to the floor than one that's full, because it creates more mess. And so we don't have the time to go through the answer. Maybe we'll bring it up as a follow-up when we do the Black Love series again to talk about vulnerability. But at the same time, we do understand that half of it's our fault. And we put people where they shouldn't be, and unfortunately, it's not allowing us to experience, the fullness. Because guess what? There's a level of trust that you don't have for the person you're with now. And I'm just be honest, And again, it's just we've just done a mess of relationships, and unfortunately, we just can't put the genie back in the bottle, and so it is what it is, right? So I know that's a really interesting topic, and we could go for another 20 minutes, and we'll bring that conversation back up as we do the show again with Black Love series. Anybody else got something before I get out here with that one? Yeah, that was good though. Thank you, sister. I appreciate you being there. And again, whether y'all know it or not, that level of vulnerability from her there comes from this relationship.
I was gonna say that. I was gonna say that for you to say that with us, Devin, that just shows that you feel like you in a safe space with us to express that.
Right.
And that's dope. And that's dope. So
yes. And we all feel the same way. We don't have a problem being honest with you all because we're talking to each other.
Yeah.
And in the space.
You're not gonna push me. You're not gonna, because if you say that to your partner, you get, well, does it mean you don't trust me, or
right,
love you, and you get all of this, so you don't really care about, like, y'all get where I'm coming from, and it's just
That's it. That's it. Okay, cool. Wow, man, that was I felt a little better off of that one. All right. Yeah, it's good. All right, y'all. Listen, we at the place where y'all love to hear from the most. Y'all, Mr. Black, we're gonna holler at y'all about Cinderella's sickness.
Cinderella sickness.
You got a toenail, maybe. I don't
know. No, surprisingly, this is about what I call a Cinderella syndrome that we're seeing play out live in living color and America. I'm talking about the Swifties and the Beehive. And I love the reaction that you guys gave, because unless you're hiding under a rock, you can't hide anymore from, what Taylor Swift is doing, who she's dating, and this, that, and the other. And for the record, I'm not taking anything away from this young lady. She clearly is successful doing her thing, and that's okay. But it's just amazing to me how one of ours is sometimes, believe it or not, with all of her fame, gets overlooked. And I'm talking about Beyonce. So I want to give Beyonce her flowers. And this is even though in my case that, from a musical standpoint, I don't necessarily get her last few albums, but would be remiss if I didn't announce what she's doing and the importance of that, because in the face of America plastering Taylor Swift in front of us and telling us that she's the greatest thing that we've ever seen. She's even aligned herself with the multi-billion-dollar NFL right now to her benefit. But when you actually put it under the microscopes and you look at these two tours that are both concluded now, the Eras Tour by Taylor Swift and the Renaissance Tour by Beyonce, some interesting things stood out to me. You look at how many tour dates. Taylor Swift did 156. Beyonce only did 56 dates. The run time for Taylor Swift for 3 hours and 23 minutes. Beyonce 2 hours and 29 minutes. The number of songs Taylor Swift sung was 46. Beyonce 35. Costume changes, Taylor Swift 16. Beyonce 9. Backup dances, Taylor 16. Beyonce 23. The opening acts for Taylor Swift were 10. For Beyonce, 0.
Oh, wow.
Mm.
The surprise guests for Taylor Swift were 15.
Mm.
For Beyonce, there were 5. And did you know that right now, as we stand on October 9th, 2023, Beyonce has the single highest grossing concert by any woman and African-American in the history of concerts? Over 579 million.
Wow.
And she did it by performing less than half the time the shows than Taylor Swift. And they both have movies coming out right now. And folks, don't get caught up in this Cinderella syndrome, because it's no accident that Taylor Swift has aligned herself with Super Bowl and the NBL, because she has a movie coming out where Beyonce has to be on her grind, and hers is more of a documentary style. And so I want to pay my homage to Beyonce, hardest working woman in the business, earning it on her own. And by the way, shout out to Simone Biles, shout out to Coco Gauff, shout out to Serena Williams, Black women that have to work 3 times as hard to get the same accolades. And so I just want to say, folks, stop believing in fairy tales. We got the real deal right here in our own culture. Believe that.
Yes, sir. Now, I will say tennis now pays the women equally as the men now. Coco was the first one to get the same purse as the male tennis winner. So
Well, that's good. Well, the women's tennis tours, I mean, they got better players than the men anyway.
Yeah.
It has been that way for the last 10 years, 15 years. So.
No, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right. DJ, I don't blame you, boss, but you know what I'm saying? I hope that may change one day. So I understand. We just having a hard conversation, man. Hopefully,
it's a process, DJ. It's a process. Yeah. You get there, brother.
Yeah. So hey, man, y'all always got a safe space to say whatever you want. Just better not talk about my mama. No, I'm just playing. My kids talk about my mama, so it's okay. All right, so listen, y'all. Hey, man, it's been a great show. I appreciate everybody being on. Thank y'all so much, man. I tell y'all, this is one of the highlights of my week. I will come in here, broke leg, neck, and all, sitting on the show, just to be on here with y'all. So I really appreciate that, man. So listen, it's final thoughts time, and Brother Kenny, my brother, take it away.
Another great show with the family. I just want to say, man, this Black Love series, man, is starting. We starting something that I think that needs to have been done years ago in our community, as far as opening it up and talking about it. Because I'm gonna be honest with you, I want black love to win. I say this all the time, and there ain't no shame in my game. I ain't ashamed. I want everybody to be able to love, but I'm black, so black love is number one on my list. I want to see beautiful black love with black men and black women. And again, I'll say this again, black women, we are not your enemy. We love you.
Yeah.
Let's make love, not war. Can we do that? Can we be friendly? Can we do that? That's my final thoughts.
I just asked that we just do it one at a time and not 4 and 5 and running trains and on everybody else. But that's just my opinion.
This is a test.
I'm sorry.
Oh, boy, he just hijacked my whole final thought. He just took that down. The Suki with the good coochie and all these old nasty other. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna leave them sisters alone. All right, my bad. Go ahead.
My bad. All right, my bad, Kenny. I won't do it again. I'm sorry. All right, Black, get it to me, brother.
My final thoughts again is just truly an appreciation of the Black Love series, but I want to kind of piggyback on Sister Devin's thing about vulnerability, the fact that she was willing to share that. Now we got some men watching this show, and they've been commenting.
Mm-hmm.
So I want and hope for a place where we can get to a place where black men truly feel safe to open up to each other. We take for granted that we always got somebody to talk to, and we as black men have to present and this image of being strong. But just from watching this show and these different things, we hurt, bleed, suffer, go through things just like everybody else. You know, the same things that's affecting everybody else. But the African-American male, far too often, we're expected to be this big black mantle of holding it all together. And I want to normalize for us to be able to open up. And to my brothers, I've said it before, if you don't even have an African-American doctor, you're doing yourself a disservice. We deserve for someone who understands us uniquely to be responsible for our care. And so I know you might not think about that as being important. We're aging, whether it's like fine wine or not. But get yourself an African-American doctor, because they uniquely understand the challenges that we as African-American men have to face. And so I hope to normalize the part where we open up more and create a safe space for ourselves as well. And lastly, ain't nothing wrong with a train, long as I'm number one.
This is a test. This is only a test.
Oh my God.
And he mean that Thomas the choo-choo train. Okay, dude. I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. Sister, good to see you.
Yeah, and I just want to start on I've never participated in a train or orgy anything of such. But I do want to know is if you have a train run on you, does that count as one body or does it count?
This is a test. This is only a test.
Oh no.
Anyway, I want to go back to
Britton, you did this, just so you know.
Yeah, Britt did all this. He did.
I want to go to financing, y'all. We got to, as black people, do better with financing. And what I want to say is we need to find some health insurance and life insurance, rather, not even health insurance. Because health insurance is, if you didn't know, I learned from work, you can get by your income health insurance as low as a penny a month. And that you still have to pay a lot out of your pocket, but you save so much as far as hospital bills because they have been managing to put that on your credit. So,
oh, really?
Spend money on that to have that taken care of, but life insurance as well. See, I can stop starting all these dumbass GoFundMe when a little dumbass was out there shooting and lost the battle and got shot. Because, and then save that money to buy all them shirts with the wings and shit. Save your money for that. What's his face is up in heaven. Save your money for that. Don't use it for the actual policy. And, and I love what Black said about putting back just a little bit out of your paycheck. Now, all of us, I'll be honest, may not have $200 like Black to be able to put in prison, because Black be balling. He the only person I know gets fired and eat crab legs. But for those of you who only have $10 or $20 left, put that back in savings, and after a while it will, you know what I'm saying? But take it out of your checking account, because if it's in your checking, you will spend it, or you'll be like me and you'll have 10 companies taking Carter payments out of your check and stuff like that. So we just got to do better. And in 2023, we're not doing trains no more, because I found out that right now STD rates are higher than what they have ever been, and people walking around with bed bugs crawling out of their coochie, and we're not doing it. So you got to do better.
Now, if that wasn't a joke, I was gonna hit you, but that's the truth. So I ain't gonna hit you. That is the honest God truth. STDs are getting worse. So yes, but pay $7. Oh Lord, oh damn it! Don't get caught up in that.
I mean, he paid $10 now. I think we talked about this. I told him, yeah, we have an inflation. $7 can't even get him back home in an Uber.
Oh my goodness. Okay, all right. Oh my, I did derail this whole thing. My bad.
Yeah, you did.
I'm sorry.
It's on you.
Oh, it is on me. Listen, I will say this before I make my final thought. One thing that I found out is really good for me and my kids. Like, I do my own pyramid with them. So we all pay in a certain amount of money, and every month somebody gets that lump sum of money.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Nice.
Yeah. And again, as they all get better jobs, we'll hike it up to where we all contribute $1,000 a month. And it's just
That's
building
pretty
wealth.
cool.
Oh yeah, man. So I've been doing that. Shoot, man, what, a couple years now? I don't know. They always spending it. So I mean, it's theirs. So you do what you want to do, but just them getting a lump sum of money at a young age is, they like it. So I told them, when y'all start really working, we'll bump that thing up and let's go and just get it. And so yeah, man, it's just teaching them that, just so y'all try to do that. I mean, now for y'all that got 10 kids and got 8 baby mamas, I ain't gonna do it. That's on y'all.
Yeah, boy. That's a whole lot of. Anyway, that's a whole lot of jars and a whole lot of other. Well, anyway.
Yeah. Anyway, all right. Well, okay, all right. I'm gonna talk about train again. Okay, anyway, so listen. Right, you're a mess. Fine wine takes time, and so does a good relationship. So y'all just remember that. As y'all seek to try to do better by your relationship. So it just takes time. But here's my question to you all: have you ever taken a leap of faith? And if so, doing what?
Yeah, I have.
For love, for a job, for
a job.
For a job, you took a leap. Yeah. Did it work out?
Nope.
Okay.
Mine did.
Yours. Well, you done had a lot of them though. Which one?
Moving to Atlanta was a leap of faith.
Nice. Okay.
Didn't live here. Woke up one Wednesday afternoon in Memphis. Said I can't be here another hour. Packed up everything I owned and stuff I couldn't put in the truck. I left and came here.
That's what's up. Yeah, you did. And in Buckhead now. Sister, you ever took a leap of faith?
I have for a job of many things.
Okay, fantastic. That's what's up. Well, all right, let's take it. Demi said to move. Oh, yes. All right. She said, oh, okay. Yes. Yes. Thank you so much. Well, let's take a look at this, y'all, and let's see how this works out.
Oh!
Oh, God. So listen. What?
I don't know what his purpose was.
Okay. I'm thinking. Well, listen. A leap of faith is to take a leap for something that you can't see, and that you don't. But listen, fool. If you see what's in front of you, you ain't got the athleticism to make it. Don't make the jump, y'all, because you might bust your balls.
I hope he through having kids, because he that's a true ball buster. That's what that was right there.
Yes, sir. So if you can see how far the jump really is, and you really can't. Yes, exactly. Exactly. Listen, y'all, don't take a jump if you can see how far it is, because if you can't make it, then it's gonna hurt on the way down. It always does. So. Fantastic show. Listen, y'all, that's Devin, that's Kenny, and that's Lee Black. We will see y'all in 7 days. We out. Peace.